Hey guys, hope everybody's having a really good day today. Today is Wednesday. Yeah, it is. Um, couple things. I need prayers for myself. Um, I just recently found out that I have to have double knee surgery. Yay. Um, I was in a car accident back in 1997. I'm actually here in Eastern North Carolina, and it happened in Cedar Creek. I was the only one to survive out of three people. The girl that was with me, the engine in the truck, when you see the engine block in the truck, it came through the firewall of the truck into her lap. And she lasted 3 days. I was hit by a drunk driver, and at the angle that he hit me, it broke my right femur, it blew out my knee, completely demolished my heel. I have a cadaver bone for my heel bone. In case you don't know what that is, it's a dead person's heel bone. And my orthopedic doctor was great. His name was Dr. Bradley Brazard. And he told me the older that I get, and I'm very transparent, I am 51 years old, but he told me the older that I got, the worse my arthritis would get. Well, I have osteoarthritis in both my knees, and I have complete bone on bone. I was on, and I'm trying to be transparent here. I need prayers. I don't need nothing else from you but prayers. And hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already, Missy or Mister. It don't cost you nothing. I ain't asking for money. Anyway, so my knees have been bothering me. So I went to the orthopedic doctor, but I'll get back to that in a minute. But the guy that hit me, he was an alcoholic. And he was actually out to commit suicide. Well, he succeeded that day. I was in a full-size GMC. He was in a Chevy Sonoma. So it killed him instantly. I was in the hospital for 4 months. And I'm very grateful to be here, honestly. I've noticed that my knees have gotten progressively worse. So I went to my doctor, and she did x-rays and said that I needed to see an orthopedic. So I went to see an orthopedic doctor, and she confirmed my fears. I'm terrified because I've heard that that is one of the worst surgeries to have. I was also in another car accident in 2015 in Tampa, Florida, when we lived down there, and I broke my right tibia and fibula on the same side, my right side. I had one of those contraption things on my leg. I was laid up for about 6 months with that. And at that time, I was on pain medication. And if you know anything about addiction, it's not fun. I was on Percocet for quite some time, almost 9 years. And it got to the point where I was just like, I'm not doing this. It is what it is. So I'm on Suboxone right now. If you are suffering, and this is not sponsored, this is just me as a recovering, if you're suffering with addiction, don't suffer. Don't suffer. There is help out there, and it don't cost you. I pay $100 a month, and you can go to QuickMD. This is not sponsored, but I don't want anybody to go through that. Download QuickMD on your phone. They can get you same day sometimes, and it's $100, $99. That's it. And if you got government insurance, you pick up your medicine for free. Suboxone is the greatest thing ever. But anyway, so now I'm at a crossroads where next week I have my Suboxone appointment with my doctor. And, I've already talked to him a little bit about it, but I'm going to talk to him about, because it does hurt. And I need to see if he will send a referral to pain management for me. But also me still get my Suboxone, because, and I'm trying to explain this to my family members just to kind of get them to understand, because they're terrified of, me going backwards. They don't have that to worry about. So I just want it to help me get through my day without pain, because Suboxone does not help with pain at all. But that way I don't have to worry about withdrawing, whatever. So we're going to see about that. The other thing is, and I would greatly, you guys can follow me through this journey. Right now, my orthopedic doctor has me on Celebrex, which we're going to do that for 2 months and see if that helps, with the inflammation and whatever. It never works. In 2 months, when I go back to see my orthopedic doctor, if that doesn't work, then we're going to start the injections. If that doesn't work, then we're going to do the surgery. But they want to make sure that you've tried every course, whatever. The other thing is, since I've gotten in both those car accidents, I've put on some weight. And we all do. I'm just not happy, because this is not me. I don't want to be fat. And I'm not fat. I have big boobs, whatever. But I went to my primary care doctor the other day, and she told me that I qualify for Wegovy. And I said, well, isn't that the same thing as Ozempic? And she said, well, they're in the same drug class. She said, but Wegovy is more for weight loss, whereas Ozempic is more for diabetes. I think it's the same thing, but whatever. So I will hear about that, whether I'm approved or not, within like 2 to 3 weeks, she said. So, just a little update. We've got some journeys we're going to go through, and I would love to bring you guys along. I am a very transparent person. I will not lie to you. Some of these influencers get on here and they tell you all this stuff. I'm about as real as you can possibly get, okay? You're not always going to agree with me. I probably have different views than you. I'll give you an example. Leave me a comment. Let me know. This past Saturday, we as in me, my daughter, and her fiance, and my granddaughter went to breakfast. We went to IHOP. And we're sitting there, and typically Nova is really good. If you've watched any of my other videos, she's the little Hispanic girl, baby, with the dark hair. Bibian is the one with the blonde hair. She's a sasspot. But, so we're sitting there, and we just got done eating, and this couple came over, and they sat down at the booth next to us. And I'd say they were probably about 6 foot, and Nova was tired. She needed a nap. It was like 11:30, 12 o'clock. We were having brunch, whatever. Anyway, she needed a nap, and she got mad because I wouldn't give her any more of my French toast. Well, I told her, I said, you don't act like that. I said, you're going to get papaus. I said, you're not even crying. And I don't spank Nova. I've popped her maybe twice her whole life because she's a good baby. But she was tired. And I guess it offended this lady. Anyway, she was sitting, and out my peripheral, because I got really good peripheral vision, out my peripheral, I watched this woman take off her glasses, sling them on the table, and just look at her husband. Well, in about a minute or two, they both got up, walked up to the server desk thing, and asked to be seated somewhere else. And I looked at my daughter, I said, well, I guess I did my due diligence for the day, because I just pissed them off. I tell you, people get so, look, again, this is just me being real, and again, we don't always have to see eye to eye. To me, parents just, they don't want to be involved anymore, Now, don't get me wrong. Don't take that the wrong way. There are some of you out there, like my daughter, for instance. She is an amazing mother. My girls are amazing mothers. But some of these parents just don't want to take the time that it entails on teaching their kids right from wrong, manners, and, all this stuff. And it's like, I wasn't raised that way. My mama would tear me up just as soon as look at me. So, it's just, that's a whole nother ball game. But anyway, we got some stuff coming up, and if you enjoy my content, give me a like. The likes let YouTube know that I'm giving you guys something to watch. It is what it is. So I'll be very transparent about my weight loss journey. Right now I weigh 222, which is way too much. And I want to get down to at least 145, 150. If I could get there, I'd be so happy. So we're going to do that, and, we'll document everything. I'll film everything, whatever. And as far as my surgery goes, you're going to get a lot of content of me laying here on the couch. That's what that's going to be. When that happens, that could be, a few months down the road. So we will see, and I just wanted to come on here and make a little snippet of what's going on. I might make a video. I'm making pork chops and a shepherd's pie tonight because I don't like shepherd's pie. But my husband doesn't like pork chops. So we do the little, make things work around here. But if I decide to do that, I'll bring you guys back and show you how I cook. I showed you how I bake somewhat. But, yeah, so there's that. Just if you don't mind, if you're new here, my name's Kimberly. You can call me Kimmy if you want to. Hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing. Hit the like. Turn your notifications on. I'm trying to get my followers up. And I'm constantly doing stuff. Sometimes I just forget to pick up my phone. So leave me some comments. Let me know either you like my stuff or you don't, or you're bored with it, whatever. And we'll get there. For the 78 of you that I have, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate y'all. And if I can get my my subscribers up to where they need to be, I will start doing giveaways, and I want to make some t-shirts, and I've got some stuff on them that, some thoughts that I want to put on them. But some beanies and, stuff like that, hoodies, whatever. But I got to get there first, so you guys can help me do that. I don't want to be this outrageous, person. I don't let things go to my head. So I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know, a couple things that I was going through. And your prayers would be greatly appreciated. I'll talk to you guys later. I love y'all so much. Bye.